go back and start electing people that are coming from a line, a genealogical line of names. Maybe that's human nature. Maybe that's how that whole system started in the first place. I don't know. I hope that the republic that we live in and its democratic way of doing business stays democratic. But now that these businesses are able to give to campaigns limitlessly, it's going to continue to be determined by business, and now they're doing it boldly in the same way that on these medicine commercials you see the side effects listed rather loudly now. You may fall over dead from this fucking shit, but ask your doctor about it. They're going to do the same thing with donations. They're going to do the same things with who they support. Businesses are trying to be careful in how they donate so they're not seen as leaning one way or the other, but you know which way they're leaning. They're leaning toward the area that's going to restrict them the least. All about the dollars. My friends, bottom line is the bottom line. Ethics not important in that discussion. Jeb has the establishment working for him. Yes, he does. Yeah, he's got some steam. He's got some backing, I'll put it that way. He may not have the steam like Hillary has in the sense of a locomotive who's just going to plow through everything in her path, but he has a very strong foundation, and that grows every day as he campaigns. So, but who could beat Jeb on the right? Who do you see beating Jeb Bush on the right, if anybody could? I think Rand just tries to stay relative. He can't go balls out because most Americans will call him crazy. You're right, Aaron. Have you noticed? I mean, think of a Howard Dean. You show some emotion. You get excited. And the next thing you know, you're labeled nuts. You know, very, very tight line these people have to walk so that they don't enter into an area where you're questioning their sanity a little. Because you can't determine sanity on votes. You can't determine insanity on policy decisions. But when somebody goes to a rally and screams at the top of their lungs and turns purple, yeah, there's an animal there. And then you got to wonder, do we want this motherfucker handling our nuclear capabilities? I don't know about that. Can you say Ahmadinejad? Yeah, it's too many syllables for most people. They don't want to say it. I don't have any problems. I don't like Ted Cruz. I'm just going to tell you guys honestly. I've historically had a problem with politicians that came from Texas, and it feels like they represent Texas only. And when they go to the national stage, it's still about Texas. I don't understand that. Plus, there's this kind of an ego thing that goes along with it. If we were to grade egos, the people from Texas would get the A+. They seem to have this big ego and are very proud of their state. I don't know anybody coming from Wisconsin saying, I'm from motherfucking W.I., bitch. Yes, that's right. What you gonna do? That's right. I got cheese up in my refrigerator. Yes. Wisconsin is in the house. You don't hear that. But you do hear Texas is in the house. You do hear New York City is in this motherfucker. You're not going to hear Wisconsin's up in this bitch because everybody would pause and say, what do you mean Wisconsin? When was the last time you heard some news about Wisconsin? See, I feel sorry for states like that because to me they're just as important as any other state. But I know to the average American, exposure means everything. That's why Hillary's got a chance. That's why Jeb Bush has name recognition. Exposure, familiarity is everything. Name recognition, brand recognition. I have nothing against Jeb Bush right now. I haven't seen anything I don't like about him. I think he's probably far more sensible than his brother. But I'm not picking winners yet. I'm not picking who I would like to win yet. I want the issues of the time, and we've got another I'm gonna have to do math now. What do we got? Another year and a half about thereabouts before this all goes down, and many issues will rise. The Iran issue is going to rise more. North Korea getting a little freakish in their military exercise. That's going to rise up again. All right. Fear politics is going to come into play. So some of these issues that wouldn't have been as big are going to grow big because they're going to shine light on them if it serves their party or their candidate. I think one of the biggest issues we have right now is Russia. Russia Russia should be a concern to the average American, because you know why. I mean, they have power. You know that. They have a driver in that car right now who is incredibly aggressive and not afraid to take risks. They have this political stance of, if you ever, like I was talking about a couple shows ago, you ever watch Russian monitored state news, you see the words power, strength, victory. Every 10 words, these words pop up. This is their narrative, and it's the one they preach, and it's effective. Just like anything else, it gets repeated enough. And in their country, what the leaders tend to do is try to show the people that everyone is their enemy. All right, and it does keep a sense of unity, but the cry wolf effect eventually takes over. What about this guy in Russia that got assassinated, this opposition leader? He seemed to be a pretty sensible guy. And then you have Putin saying, we'll investigate this. Will you really? Will you really? Yeah, I don't think you will. And if you find who did it, you're going to fucking give them a castle somewhere. Yeah, they'll pretend to send him to, somewhere in Siberia. Yeah, he's being flogged daily. He's being fed shit from crows, because sometimes crows shit. And that's all he gets for food. And really, that's going to be some sort of, a big lie orchestrated from the people that want to kiss Putin's ass and climb the ranks that way. If you don't support Putin in today's Russia and you're in a government position, your time is ticking. You're going to be kicked out or dealt with, one way or the other. Why does Apocalypse like Putin so much? Scott Walker might be a decent politician, but I think you got to have your degree. I don't know. I feel like that's a starting point that should be for any politician. Get your fucking degree. And I know that we've had plenty of famous people drop out from college. It's not that. It's just, I think it's a measure of stick-to-itiveness. That's really what I'm going to call it. And you need somebody to have maximum stick-to-itiveness if they're going to be driving the most powerful country in the world. Putin is a punk. I don't like Putin. I think he's a bully, and I don't like bullies. Yeah. He looks back to his time in Russia, where just his very presence with the KGB and the backing that they had, which, if you were to take our CIA and mix them with the Crips, well, there's your KGB. They're going to be gangster. They're going to be, very secretive, but also want you to know they're in the room. It's an aura of power and fear, and that's how they dominate. And he hasn't lost that yet. He had a lot of fun back in those days, intimidating. He was never afraid to take a risk. Putin's a huge risk taker, and he's doing it right now. I mean, the international stage right now is a stage that he has stormed and is jumping up and down on, saying, go ahead, knock me off. And here we go. Now we got to try to negotiate and work out policies. And you know who suffers in this when this happens, when one leader gets overzealous, is the people in that country. And if you don't believe me, talk to a Russian. Talk to somebody who lives in North Korea. Talk to somebody that lives in today's Iran or in yesterday's Iraq. These things are pretty clear when you talk to the people that are affected, rather than relying on the rhetoric of the leader to tell you how things are going in his or her country. Yeah, that's about all I had. Aaron says, fuck that, Kevin. KGB are pro-Russia. CIA are pro-corporation. Yeah, well, I think everybody's for sale, Aaron, so corporations will be buying up all those secret services soon. I tell you who I'm sadly unimpressed with is our own Secret Service and the multiple scandals and failures that they have displayed and exhibited over the past 10 years. I wonder how our president stayed alive. I can't think of a very tight Secret Service since back in the Reagan years. And even they couldn't stop him from getting shot, although one of them did take a bullet and he ended up dying when Reagan got shot. They seem incapable. And when you're the most powerful leader in the world and you're a target and you know you are, you don't want incapable people around you. You want the best and brightest our country has to offer. And I'm surprised that the Secret Service has become this Keystone Capers kind of a caricature of what special services should be like to protect your leaders in a powerful nation. I don't know. Maybe we need to hire some ex-Spetsnaz or something. Bring them bitches up in here. Bring some SEALs in. Yeah, fuck the whole police thinking. Just bring in some animals. They can both enunciate and snap your neck with their thumb and forefinger. Those are the badasses. SEALs are smart. People don't realize that, but you can't go in and be a Navy SEAL just because you're tough. You got to be a smart motherfucker. And you got to think well under pressure. Why did the Secret Service stop running alongside JFK's vehicle 10 seconds before he was shot in the head? Cue X-Files music. Well, that's a reasonable question, but hindsight is not only 2020, but it's like 2010. You start to see things that aren't there. And I think that on this particular day, even though they advised him to ride in a covered car, he wanted exposure. And I don't know, it's so easy to, using things like pareidolia, to find patterns in behaviors that really aren't there, but in hindsight, with the conspiracy theory possibility in place, you begin to draw pictures with your mind. It's a natural thing we do, and sometimes it's totally warranted. But other times, as is the case with JFK, I don't think it's warranted. I think that Lee Harvey Oswald wanted spotlight badly, and he got it. He got it. Then he got a bullet to the stomach that killed him. And, the most notorious figure in that whole group of events to me was Jack Ruby. I want to know what the fuck was up with him. What a weird thing for a guy in his position to do. But that's just me thinking. I don't have anything for that. I look at the evidence and I don't believe in JFK conspiracy theories, although I believe there were plenty of people that wanted him dead. The only real conspiracy theories I give weight to are the UFO ones, and I don't mean alien, because I still don't know what UFOs are. For all I know, it's an interdimensional travel technology we've invented. But so much covering up going on, and you know how I am. The Disclosure Project, the astronauts, FAA officials, pilots. These people are your best witnesses for aerial phenomenon. You can't find better. A United States astronaut is at the top of the echelon of reliable witnesses for eyewitness testimony. And you do not ignore what they say because the public record doesn't have it recorded. You listen to them. And they've been seeing something. And I don't understand why it keeps getting covered up. So, I don't know. There's a lot of alternative theories out there. JFK was hot, says Mike Goofy Faggot Mazza. I wonder who that really is in my chat room. That's I'll bet you one of those is Guy Shea. Speaking of Guy Shea, don't forget tonight we have The Evil Show. Guy Shea hosts that show. I will then download it and then re-upload it. Peter Boy's on there. The Puerto Rican hubcap thief Louis B's on there. The redneck who Guy seems to continue to forget is in Florida with him. Debbie will be there. I will be there as the evil consultant, and I'm not that evil. I only have partial strands of evil in me, and those only get activated when I'm challenged by like an alpha male. Then I get alfalfa male, because alphabetically that means I come first. Wait a minute, ALP, well, if you use the F, it's PH alpha, ALPHA, alfalfa would be second. I'll use the F, so yes, I come first, alfalfa with an ALF. I come first. I become alfalfa male. And, the cowlick pops up, the pants ride up toward the shins, and I put up my dukes. Yeah. I'm getting ready to get the fuck out of here since none of you bitches Skyped in, which is okay because, the reason I did this show was really because I was listening to NPR and I couldn't believe how much lack of understanding the average American, and this is a cross-section of people that I'm getting from NPR callers, so it's not a fair representation, but they didn't understand email, and they didn't understand security. And they had no alternative for what would have been more secure. Because if you say a government email is going to be more secure, then I'm going to say you're crazy, because really nothing's secure. And